Scruitinizing, scribbling, and ciphering. Guess who's a substitute teacher? I began college in 1979. 1979 CE, not BCE. Hey, I'm old, but I'm not older than the Dead Sea Scrolls old. My major was undecided, and for 2.5 years I worked as a waiter and took classes as I saw fit, sometimes attending school full-time and sometimes part. In the early 1980s, in-state tuition was cheap, and I liked learning, so I pecked away at the worms and feed my college courses cast before me and grew from a poussin to a poltroon. After 2.5 years as an undecided, I finally declared EE as my major. That's elementary education, not electronic engineering. Graduated from UMCP in spring of 1986 and landed a teaching job at Eastside Elementary in Cobb County, Georgia, just prior to Thanksgiving of that same year. Things did not go well. I frequently say if organization is a key to success, then I'm doomed to failure. There's a lot of great stuff rattling around in my brain, body, and soul, but being organized is not one of my strengths. I ended my teaching tenure soon after I'd begun when I was offered a full-time job at a bicycle shop. I love bikes. I love being a cycling evangelist, had worked at College Park Bikes a bit while attending classes in Maryland, and then at 2 different Challenge Schwinn locations in suburban Atlanta, and figured this was a good path to take. I got my first bike shop gig in 1986 and have worked at bicycle shops in 6 states in the intervening 32 years. When we moved from Indianapolis to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, I began working at Northtown Cycling and Fitness, NTCF, and it was in Cedar Rapids where I began to regularly volunteer at Nixon, our son's elementary school. I'd volunteered in my older son's kindergarten class and a bit when he attended first grade in Indiana, but in Iowa I dove in and did a lot more. I did so much more that I toyed with the idea of becoming a substitute teacher. Winters in Iowa are brutal, and business at Northtown is decidedly seasonal. As I was an hourly employee, NTCF saw the wisdom in my proposal to cut my hours in the off-season. A reduction in work hours opened the door for me to substitute teaching part-time, a door I gladly stepped through. I subbed exclusively at Nixon until our younger son joined his big brother in being bused to Harding Middle School. With our boys taking the big cheese to school, I was freed from the responsibility of getting them to and from. While I floundered as a real teacher, I flourished as a sub. Connecting, explaining, empathizing, demonstrating, and selling come naturally to me, while planning, note-taking, and documentation make me want to go roll up in the fetal position and suck my thumb. I did good as a sub, along with doing damn well, and I enjoyed it, especially in the elementary school special education classroom, where I became a regular. Subbing part-time was great until we moved to Florida, when I stopped. Having left Florida a year ago, I've decided to dive back in and sub part-time, and part of teaching is certification. North Carolina has abysmally low credentials requirements for substitute teachers. Read low as none, unless you count a high school diploma and a lack of felony conviction as credentials. But Wake County requires subs to take a non-credit, non-graded, substitute effective teacher training course. This required course consists of 1 8-hour instruction period, reviewing some teaching tips online, writing a lesson plan, and then presenting said lesson to our fellow students and instructor. The requirement is laughable, but instruction from Sue Stone is anything but. Sue is full of wisdom, experience, and humor, 3 things that are needed if one is misfortunate enough to have me as a pupil. Sue not only puts up with my ADHD, slightly autistic, OCD, dyslexic self, she incorporates my failed attempts to exhibit proper classroom behavior into her presentation. More importantly, Sue has at least 4 3-semester hour classes worth of material that she's trying to disseminate in 12 hours of instruction. Impossible? Of course, but Sue is organized and she is empowering. As stated, I love interacting with elementary age students, but formal lesson plans are my Waterloo. Sue is explaining all the pedagogical imperatives for proper lesson plan preparation, and I'm sinking lower and lower in my seat. No. This is why I sub, so I don't have to write detailed lesson plans or contemplate the whys of what I do so well. Infotain. Thoughts about my lesson plan make me toss and turn the night of our classroom instruction. I teach hands-on lessons at my bike store job and have made presentations before auditoriums filled with 500 plus students. I am an excellent brush fire firefighter, but Sue wants structure. My head spins as I fall asleep Saturday night, but early Sunday morning the answer is obvious to me. Landscaping. Now, while I did work as a landscaper as well as a waiter back in my undergraduate days, I am not thinking landscaping literally, but rather figuratively. I have decided to make my lesson plan an introduction to drawing landscapes and will incorporate a presentation of basic design elements and terms into my teacher-led I do, we do, you do simple drawing of a landscape. I think we'll all have fun, and maybe I can drop a little bird feed of my own at the feet of my fellow chickens. Cluck, 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 wish me luck.